Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, it's so special to be here right now on this beautiful Shabbat afternoon, during which Riley is becoming a bat mitzvah. We're so excited to celebrate with you. I was just saying to the family the other day, Cantor Lonnie and I may have done more life moments for your family than just about any other family, except for maybe Nate's. And Nate has quite a large family here at Temple Akiba as well. We're so excited to join with you, whether you're here in our presence, here via Zoom or YouTube. We're creating one connection, creating holy space through the journey that Riley will be bringing us on. Riley, in fact, all of us, take a deep breath. Zeh hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha bo. This is a day that God has created. It's time for us to rejoice and be happy. Friends, my name is Rabbi Zach Shapiro. I'm so honored to welcome you here. I'm here along with Cantor Lonnie Freilich, and this is a journey. You've all received prayer books that we'll be using over the course of our service, and Cantor will tell you in a moment about some of the prayers and specifically the music. We do ask that you please make sure that your phones are in the silent mode so that we don't get interrupted over the course of the service. And leave your phones away. We have a professional who is taking photos so that we don't need to be encumbered by something like that in our hands. Cantor, do you want to talk about our music today?
I would love to. So Riley will be leading us through most of our music and our prayers this evening, but we love your participation. So especially coming from our Akiba kids right here, and from all of you, if you know the words, if you know the music, wonderful. You can still participate even if you don't. You can sway, you can clap, you can sing la la la, but we'd love to hear you. She is praying with all of us, not just for you. The more we can participate, the more that we are showing our love for Riley.
We also want to make note that because this is a Shabbat afternoon service, not a morning or an evening, there's a number of liturgical items that we don't usually, that you might usually anticipate on a Shabbat morning, but that you won't see. For example, there's almost always in a service the part with the Shema Yisrael. That's like a central part. We're not doing that in the first part of this service, not because we're trying to shorten anything up, but because that doesn't liturgically belong in an afternoon service. So we'll have a couple of introductory blessings, but then we're going to launch right into the Amida, which is the central part of a prayer service. So part of me says fasten your seatbelts and be prepared. The other says unbuckle your seatbelts and just go with the flow and enjoy the journey that we're on.
And Rabbi, just a couple more announcements.
Please, yeah.
Due to COVID protocols, we ask for all of you to keep your masks on. Riley, as our bat mitzvah girl, will be taking her mask off, but we ask for all of you to keep the masks on. And also for anyone that's on Zoom with us, please keep your mute button on so that we can all pray together.
Right now, by the way, I only see Alex Yu on Zoom, but there may be more coming on. So, Alex, it's good to have you with us. We're going to open with the singing of Hine Matov. It's on page 70 of your prayer books.
Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Our worship continues with the presentation of the Talit on page 72. What an honor it is to invite forward Bobby and Zadie, Saul and Mickey to come forward for this presentation. Riley, of course, we want you forward as well. We're on page 72. So Saul and Mickey hold it right behind her. Mickey, come over to this side. So Riley, face forward and hold it right behind her, just like that. Okay.
As I wrap myself in the talit,
Slow.
I fulfill the mitzvah of my Creator. Bless Adonai, O my soul. Adonai, my God, how great you are. You are robed in glory and majesty, wrapping yourself in light as a garment, spreading forth the heavens like a curtain.
For the very first time, Riley, you put on a talit, signifying that you are now responsible as a Jewish adult. Whenever we have a first in Judaism, we offer the Shehechianu, a prayer of thanksgiving. It thanks God for giving us life and sustaining us and getting us to this significant and awesome time. It's on page 344, page 344 of our prayer books.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
Every day we've got the opportunity to harness the miracles in the world. And our prayer book gives us a little bit of a help to do that in case we forget to open our eyes and look around. And so Riley will be sharing some of these miracles. They're called the Nisim B'chol Yom. We're on page 84 of our prayer books. And when she's finished with each of the blessings, we respond by singing Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Right? Yeah. Okay. Melech haolam asher asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher asani b'horin.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otir Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen. Continuing now with the Chatzi Kaddish, we're on page 106.
Yikata v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, bagala bagala u'bizman kariv v'yimeru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'alam Ulamei Hamaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar V'yitramam V'yindaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudisha, Brichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, damihiram be'ama, v'yimeru. Amen.
We're going to move forward in our prayer books to the formal afternoon service on page 226, page 226, and we invite all who are able to please rise for the Amidah.
Adonai Sefatita Ufia Gitahilateha. Adonai, open up my lips, may my mouth declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, ve'Honeh Ha'akol, ve'Zoher Hasidei Avot v'Imahot, Gulav Livnei Vehem, Lamashma B'Havara, Melech Ozer Umashia Umagim, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avaram V'Ratzara, Atah Gibor Le'elam Adonai, Mehaye HaKol atah Rav La'oshia, Mehaye Ha'im HaBeheset, Mehaye HaKol Ra'Raf HaMirimim, Somek Noflim Verafei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayei Amunatov Lishnei Afa Miha Moha Bal Giverot Umidalach Melech Mimid Umekayei Umatzmi Mishra V'ne'ema Ata Lahayot HaKol Baruch Ata Adonai Ma'eh HaKol.
Page 232, everyone.
Nekadesh et shimha ba'olam, kashem shmakdishim o tobish memoram, kakatu o yad neviyaha, v'kar razeh el zeh ve'emar, kadosh, 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 Adonai Tebaot, Melohot ha'aretz, kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu Ma'adir, Shem Ha'aretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mim Kamo. Ehad Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Mokeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashenu, Vera'amav Le'enai Kol Hai, Ani Adonai Elohim, Yimlok Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Yitzion, Lador Vador, Hallelujah. Lador Vador Nagid Galeham, Uvnetzav Nitzavnim, Kedusha Nagdish, Bishim Ha, Eloheinu Mipinu, Pino Loya Muslelam, Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We're going to take a few moments now for our own silent prayers. Riley, why don't you come stand with your family? Take a deep breath again. And we can use our prayer books from pages 234 right through 240. Perhaps there's a prayer in there that resonates with what's going on in our lives. Or else you can just take a moment to reflect on what your own experience this week has been and find that silent voice inside of you and to just take a moment to reflect. When you're finished with your own private prayer, you may be seated. When I was a little boy, I knew that the way to say hello or offer a greeting in Hebrew was the word shalom. And I knew that the word for rabbi was Rav. So when I was little, I thought that the song Shalom Rav meant hello rabbi. But it means something so much deeper than that. Shalom Rav, which is on page 240, means abundant peace. So shalom, of course, means peace or completeness. I'm glad you're back here for this one, Pauline. Okay. And Rav means great or huge. There are very few things that we are actually allowed to pray for on Shabbat. Peace is one of them. You can't pray for things like possessions, but please come in. But you certainly can and must pray for peace. So Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace is on page 240.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Please join me, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tol Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Because we need it so much, Cantorlani, I think it's appropriate to do an additional song for peace. And for this one, we're going to invite anyone who is or who has ever been part of the Temple Akiba Religious School, no matter what your age, to come forward, leave your books here, and to help us out.
Right up in front.
If you've ever been part of our Temple Akiba program, come on forward, face the congregation. And it's so good to see this whole range of people. Thank you all so much. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Oh, Riley, don't go anywhere, right?
You're here the whole time.
Riley, you've been bringing us on such an incredible journey so far. We're now about to enter Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah. Take another deep breath. Yeah. You're about to take an ancient document and not only share from that document, but share from your soul and share your wisdom about how you think about these old words in today's language. And for that to happen, we are going to invite some very special people to open up the ark. So we invite forward Angelique, Adam, Cynthia, Jason, Amanda, Ryan, and Irene to come forward. And we invite the congregation, all who are able to rise once again. We're on page 244. So those who I asked to open the ark, come up to here. Shabbat Shalom. Hi, everyone. Everyone, Shabbat Shalom. All right, so there's one handle and there's a lot of you. So one person's going to open, the rest of you are going to be supporters, okay? All right.
In kamocha Elohim Adonai ve'en kemasecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor v'hador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed Adonai oz le'amo yitain Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Av harachamim Heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Ki v'cha levad batachnu Melech Elam v'nisa Adon olamim.
Thank you all very much. You can go back to your seats. We appreciate it. Oh, but everyone remain standing, please. Okay.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah Ki mitzion teitzei Torah Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Kdushato.
We now invite forward Saul and Mickey and Aileen and Russell and Brooke. Why don't you come forward as well to stand near Riley as we pass down Torah, Ledor Vador, generation to generation. Riley, your grandparents so lovingly passed this tradition through your parents and into your arms. And just as Brooke stood here a couple of years ago to receive Torah, Riley, you receive it today. And while you stand here as a descendant, please know that someday you will be an ancestor as you give this treasure to your son or daughter as they ascend in this holy way.
Ledor vador, ledor vador, nagi godlecha, ulenetzach netzachim, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha nakdish.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shemo. Gadli Adonai, Tivne Romema Shemo Yachdav.
Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim,
Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha
Devarim, Ha'olam Omed. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gimilot chasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah
redeem.
Please be seated, everyone, except for Mickey and Saul and Riley. So we are about to surround the bat mitzvah with a number of blessings called aliyot. If you can go to the cantor's podium, that would be great. Each person or group of people that we call up will stand over by the cantor's podium to offer the blessing beforehand, and then Riley will chant, and then we'll have the blessing after. So for our first, of course, we have Bubby and Zadie, Saul and Mickey Bubis. Ya'amdu Zelak ben Hershel v'Malka bat Moshe.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Barach.
Baruch Adonai HaMbarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Barach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'asan lanu es toraso. Baruch atah Adonai Nasein HaTorah.
Amen.
Atam nitzavim hayom kulhem lifnei Adonai Elohehem Rashehem Shivtehem Ziknehem V'Shotrehem Kol Ish Yisrael.
Right down here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nasan lanu Torah emes v'chayei olam nata b'sachenu. Baruch atah Adonai Nasein HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Thank you so much. For our second aliyah, we invite forward Darlene Bubis and Neil Cook and Pauline and Scott Reed. Ya'amdu liba ahava bat Zalek v'panina bat Zalek v'Shlomo ben Binyamin.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMbarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMbarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'ata lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Tabheim Nashehem V'Geraha Asher Bekerav Mahaneha Meotep Itzaha Ad Shoev Memeha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nata lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Thank you so much, everyone. For our third aliyah, we invite two alumni, Brandon Reed and Madeline Reed. Ya'amdu Binyamin ben Shlomo v'Margalit bat Shlomo.
Baruch et Adonai HaMbarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMbarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMbarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'atan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
La'obraha Bivrit Adonai Elohecha Uvalato Asher Adonai Elohecha Kreimha Hayom.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you all so much. It's good to see you. For our fourth Aliyah, we invite Riley's Temple Akiba Hebrew School class, which is everyone who's eligible except for Natalie and Mimi. Sorry. So everyone else come forward. Come on, Nate.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Laman hakimata hayam la'am vehu yihi leila le'elohim kadasher diberloch v'hasher nishpa la'avoteha la'avraham litzhak u'Yaakov.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you all so much. For our fifth Aliyah, we invite forward your incredible sister, Brooke Taylor Ta'amud Maya Bat Shalev Aviyom.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavara.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavara Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Velo item mavadham anohi korei et habrit hazot ve'et hala hazot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'heyei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Brooke, why don't you stay there? And your parents are going to join you. We now invite Eileen and Russell to come forward for their Aliyah. Ya'amdu Shalev Aviyom Va'aviva Leah Bat Zalek.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Hold on one second, Riley. Did I hear more of Brooke than I did of her parents? That's okay. That's okay.
Ki et asher yashno po imanu omed hayom lifnei Adonai Eloheinu ve'et asher einenu po imanu hayom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Everyone stay there because we want you to surround
Oh.
Riley as she ascends now for her formal Aliyah. We now invite the Bat Mitzvah herself, Riley Taylor, Ta'amud, 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 Raya Bat Shalev Aviyom for her Aliyah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
כי אתם ידעתם את אשר ישבנו בארץ מצרים, ואת אשר עברנו בקרב הגויים אשר עברתם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורה אמת וחיי העולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Yasher Torah. Wow.
Yay.
Stand back for just 1 second. Oh my gosh. We're going to lift the Torah scroll up so you can see the text from which Riley so beautifully chanted. And as we lift Torah, we ask that you rise once again, please. Step back just a little bit. Zos HaTorah asher ksar Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai lai. Please be seated, everyone. Yai lai 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 lai. Every worship service gives us the opportunity to share from every part of the 3 parts of the Bible, of the Tanakh. Before we got to the Torah service, we heard a lot of liturgy which comes from the section of the Ketuvim, the writings. We just had the Torah part, the first 5 books of the Bible. We now continue with the Nevi'im, the prophetic section, which is connected to the Torah portion. This week, the prophetic section that's connected to Nitzavim is from the prophet Isaiah, who was a prophet of offering comfort when our ancestors were living in Babylonian exile. And so it's an appropriate kind of Torah portion to have just a few weeks before Rosh Hashanah, because just like Rosh Hashanah is about finding people we love and holding them and embracing them, Isaiah also told us that we need to hold those close to us dear and embrace life as much as we can. You guys can all have a seat. Not you, Eileen. Not you, Riley. Sorry. Right.
Baruch atah, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim beretzah b'divreihem henamarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet Sos asis Adonai Tagel nafshi belohai Ki hil bishani vigdayesha ma'il Sadaka yatani kehetan yehein pa'er Vehekalas tadecheleha Ki ha'ara tatzim simha ukana Zevareha tatzmiyak kain Adonai Elohim yatzmiyak tzedakah utila neged kol hagoyim Laman zion lo ehashe Laman Yerushalayim lo eshkot aditze hanoga zidke Pishuata kelapidivar Le'ra'u goyim tzidkech B'chol velachim kavodech Ve'kor alak shem hadash asher Pi Adonai yikavenu V'hayit ateret tiferet V'yad Adonai u'tznif melohai V'haf Elohayith Lo ye'amer loch azuvah l'artzeh lo ye'amer oz shemama ki loch Yikare hafsiva l'arteth ba'ula ki hafetz Adonai bach Verteth tiba'el ki bal bahor batila yivalu banayith umsos hatan al-kala yasis alais Elohais.
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet?
No, that was
Okay.
beautiful. Hold on one second, Riley. So all of you have seen the candy is being passed out. Riley is about to offer the blessing after the Haftarah portion. Once she is finished, the ground rules are lovingly toss the candy toward the celebrant, lovingly, not toward the cantor, not toward me. Okay, Nate, all right? And when the candy has been tossed, then all of you who are young at heart have the chance to come forward and clean the turf up. Riley, you're all set? Go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai. Wait, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Zork kol halomin sadik bechol hadarot. Ha'el ha'ne'eman hamoher ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayem. Shekol devara emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'vodah ve'al ha'vi'im ve'al ha'shum shvat hazeh. Shnatata alanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'linu chai levo v'havod utifaret al kol Adonai Eloheinu anaknu modim la umvarhim otai yitbarak shim ha'piv holhai tamid leolam va'ed baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabat. Sweetie.
All right, everyone, come clean it up.
Yes. Here's candy. Here's candy.
All right. Have a seat, Riley. There's so much joy in this space. There's so much joy in this space. It's the joy of pride. It's the joy of family being together and friendship. We want to take that joy and make sure that it doesn't just stay inside of us, but we want to translate the joy into healing. On page 253, page 253, we have our Misha Berach prayer for healing. It's right in the middle of the page. Again, page 253. And we've got an opportunity, really a responsibility, to take that strength and to pray for healing. As we sing the first part of the prayer, you may be thinking of people you know who could use those prayers. And when we get to the center, as my eyes meet yours, please don't be shy. Share those names out loud of those for whom you are praying for wholeness. And then we'll continue the prayer together.
Let us say, Amen. and let us say, Amen.
Aileen and Russell, prayers for healing hit so close to home. And I'm so glad that your family, that all of us could be here well and whole and to celebrate this extraordinary, extraordinary moment. We're going to now prepare to put the Torah back into the Ark. We're on page 256, and we invite Aunt Rena and Mary Ellen and Julie and Stephen and Aiden and Steve to come forward. Is Aiden the one who just came in? Hello, Aiden. And we invite the congregation to rise once again. Ki lekach tov natati lahem torati al ta'azovu. For I have given you a good instruction. Do not abandon my Torah. So if we can get one designated person to open, right over here. Right now. Thank you. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, shalom, it is a tree. Shalom, shalom. It's not a bush. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Israel hilem akadiki babetom hecha. Meusar Israel hilem akadiki babetom hecha. Meusar. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you all so very much. Please be seated, everyone, except for Riley, who the cantor has something to say to you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay. Shabbat Shalom and welcome to my Bat Mitzvah, where we are celebrating the event of me becoming a Jewish adult, or as I used to call it before I hit the age of the double digits. It was the day I was going to be forced to wear a pretty dress and painful high heels while singing songs and prayers with my squeaky voice, which secretly screamed, "Let this end and please get me some water." And of course, receiving tons of money from family and friends that I would wisely spend. Now I understand, becoming a bat mitzvah is clearly none of that, but actually it's a day where I become a Jewish adult in which I fulfill new tasks and responsibilities. Correspondingly, meaning I will take on new tasks such as fasting on high holidays, being more accountable for my actions, being mentally and physically responsible, performing mitzvot, having the ability to read from the Torah and sing certain prayers at services, having more rights as considered a young adult-ish. Not only but also will I take on these new responsibilities as I come of age, but I also be able to participate in the tradition of taking on one's individual life and responsibility as a Jew. With this, our Torah portion for this Shabbat is called Kitet Se, which is from the book of Deuteronomy. But that is not the Torah portion I just chanted so enthusiastically. Now you're probably wondering what portion I just chanted then. Well, the portion I chanted was called Nitzavim, which is also from the book of Deuteronomy. I chanted this portion as this was my original Torah portion for my first bat mitzvah day of September 12, 2020. Before my bat mitzvah had to be postponed because of COVID-19 to August 21st, 2021. Thus, I decided to keep the same portion from September and chant it on this very day. Looking at the crowd, you probably have no clue whatsoever of what this Torah portion is about. So to give the setting of my Torah portion, it starts off with the children of Israel standing on Mount Sinai and Moses, their leader, explained to them what it means to be part of the Jewish people and how Moses is telling the people before him why they might be standing there right then and now. When doing some deep diving thinking, I realized that this Torah portion of Nitzavim starts out with the first words of Atem Nitzavim Hayom, which means in English, you stand today. To add on to this phrase, you stand today can mean multiple thoughts, but when speaking of it in my terms, this gives me an idea of why I'm standing here today, performing my bat mitzvah. So why am I standing here today? When reflect Oh goodness, okay. When reflecting on this and connecting the matters for me when standing here today performing my bat mitzvah, I look back on myself and ask the question, why do I stand here today? Such as how the Jews stood in front of Moses when he described the covenant between God and the Israelites for the reason of honoring the Torah so that they, the Israelites, may be rewarded with life in the land of Israel. Likewise, I stand here today before men, women, and children, and people of all different religions and races who have gathered here today to support me when performing the traditions of the Torah in order to become a bat mitzvah. So to answer the question, why do I stand here today? I stand today for the reason of interpreting and continuing the traditions and beliefs from my Jewish ancestors, for the fact of being Jewish and interpreting those lessons with a modern twist on them. Now, being Jewish can mean multiple concepts to the people, though as to the public, being Jewish is the religious belief of having a monotheistic religion, which is transcended by one God, following the religious rules of life within scriptures and rabbinic traditions. Although for me, being Jewish is a way of life that consists of 4 major factors: community, relations, events, and extension. With this being said, the first factor of community is a way of sharing and interacting with a group of people who share the same religion, even if being a different race or having a disability. This also includes treating everyone as equals, as the community focuses on one major thing, religion, which unites people to discuss and interact. To continue, the second factor, relations, is a connection between friends and who they show their compassion and personality to someone who they feel connected to, as they can talk about their similar hobbies and how they feel. An example of this is when I'm at resident camp, where I can connect with my friends that are also Jewish in a different way than my non-Jewish friends. I can connect with my friends, since these friends can go through similar stages through life, which we can only discuss every year when we are at camp, talking about them over special activities, such as 17+ gym workouts and talks at night. This allows us to bond in a way unimaginable. Furthermore, the third factor of events is the holidays which take place during the year, certain times of the year that are marked and celebrated with friends and family, and of course, delicious but sacred food, which can represent key points in the event that we are celebrating. Lastly, the fourth factor of expansion is the way of expanding my knowledge of the Torah and its teachings to modern day society, and embarking on them by interpreting its lessons from my own understanding and point of view. For example, doing a mitzvah is a way of expanding my knowledge from the Torah into modern day society. This is what I believe. Society, as giving food to the homeless or helping others is an important lesson to learn from the Torah. Moreover, this is what I believe being Jewish means, and the reasons why I am standing here today in front of all of you. As interpreting Judaism means being part of a community, having relationships with friends, celebrating the events/holidays with different symbolic food, and extending the knowledge and thoughts of Torah by giving back to others while performing mitzvah. This is why I stand here today. Now, before I conclude my speech, I would like to thank some people. First, I want to thank Cantor Lonnie for helping me with learning the Torah, Haftorah, and all those blessings. Next, I want to thank Rabbi Shapira for helping me edit my speech and much more. Randy for making my Hebrew school education awesome. And Leah for my memorable and great experience at resident camp. Also the Sisterhood for the Kiddush Cup and the men's group for Tanakh. And of course, lastly, I want to thank my friends and family who could come in person or virtually, I think, for the Bat Mitzvah ceremony and for all the help and support you gave me. Thanks.
Brooke, why don't you come on forward?
Is it too fast?
We're perfect. You were perfect.
Okay. Wait. It's gonna kill me. All right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, give me a hug. You smell.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Riley. I was asked to write a speech, and normally at bar and bat mitzvahs, the siblings and parents always say an embarrassing story on how their child or sibling has grown to the person they are today. But as we all know, Riley's unique and incredible, and I think that you deserve something else special. So I decided to write a little poem about how much I love you. When I was 4, and you were just a minute old when we first were introduced to each other, but it took me less than a millisecond to recognize that you were going to be my best friend. I was 6, and you were 2 when we were at Venice Beach making sandcastles together, working hand in hand, digging in the sand to build up the walls. To enter the water, holding hands, and searching for the sand for the swirly and rainbow shells to decorate these walls with. It was then we first worked together as best friends. I was 10 and you were 6 when we passed the soccer ball together in our backyard. I was in U12 and you were in U8. I wore my royal blue jersey and my navy knee-high socks covering my shin guards, and you were in your bright orange jersey with the same bright orange knee socks. We laughed as the ball traveled from my right foot to yours and back. It was then when we first worked together as teammates. I was 17 and you were 13 when I first took you surfing. You were not scared of the ocean. The ocean was scared of you. Its pressing waves were no match for the determined mindset that you had. And tumble after tumble, to get back up and tumble again, and then finally catching that wave. It was then I saw us having fun as best friends. I was a bat mitzvah, and you were becoming one, when I realized, in this moment, no matter how young, no matter how old, no matter where I go off to college or move any place in the world, you will still remain my best friend. Mazel tov, Riley. I love you.
Thank you. I think that was a microphone to speak into.
That would have been nice to know.
I just moved over here. I pointed to it, so.
Beautiful, Brooke. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Elena Russell, why don't you come on forward?
Oh, I've been stitches for you people.
No, it's good.
You sure?
Yeah. Although I don't want to follow that one. That's a good speech. Yours is a good speech.
Sure.
All right. Am I going first? Shabbat Shalom. Okay. So we want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here today. All of you make this day extra special, and we definitely feel all the love. So thank you. Okay. Whew. My Riley Biley. You did it, girl. We're so proud of you. You really should be proud of yourself because you worked really hard to get here. And I want to apologize first because a year and a half ago, I secretly wished for you to have a little more time to practice. And but I had no idea that I would invoke COVID-19, so I apologize because the universe went a little overboard with that wish. So I'm sorry about that one. All right, let me tell you a little bit about my Riley. This little girl is a fierce, lovable, independent force of nature. From day one, she was always on the go, literally pushing on my spleen and jet propelling herself out. Learning to walk at 9 months, jumping off furniture at a year, and picking out her own outfits at 15 months old. Frustrated 1 minute, silly the next, and with cuddles and kisses that could melt your heart. From an early age, Riley noticed everything. Her pediatrician was so fascinated by her that at one baby visit she said to me, "Look how she watches everything I'm doing.
She studies me, and she did. She studied flowers, bugs, rainbow reflections on the sidewalk, rocks, shells, and every beautiful thing we passed, she noticed. When Riley would play as a little girl, her imagination knew no bounds. She would concoct stories and scenarios that would last 2 hours or more. She could draw or make projects with such intricate details, and you were left wondering how. How did you do that? And as she got older, we noticed she loved to tell stories to everyone. Usually embarrassing ones involving us or her sister to her friends' parents at the dinner table, right, Maria, Michelle? She always could make us laugh, whether it was dancing in the living room, usually in her underwear, or making up songs with her sister or jumping off the furniture X Games styles. It would always crack us up. We loved watching Riley with her friends, always wanting to go out of her way to make sure her friends are happy. Caring, loyal, and a true friend. You always know how to make people feel special with a hug or a smile or a little joke. So this past year was a tough one, this past year and a half. But my favorite part of being quarantined with you was our family Friday tea parties, where you orchestrated every detail to perfection. And when you got inspired by the baking shows and turned my kitchen into a bakery, I think you made over 10 different kinds of desserts. And don't even get me started on how good your ratatouille is. It's amazing. So, really good. Watching you cook and the passion you put into it just makes our hearts smile. Not everyone gets to see these sides of Riley, so I wanted to gush a little bit about her. This year was tough, and watching how you persevered with Zoom school and learning to surf and playing beach volleyball still amazes Dad and me. We've watched you grow here at Akiba and see how much fun you have with your friends at camp and being part of this community. We hope that that continues for a long time to come. We can't wait to see what silly, wonderful, beautiful things that you're going to tackle. Sometimes you'll thrive and sometimes you'll fall, but just know we'll always be here to catch you with love and kisses and hugs. At night when you were younger, we would read our favorite book over and over, Where the Sidewalk Ends, by Shel Silverstein. I wanted to end with a poem. Sorry, Brooke, I'm copying you, but this is an original one. And I hope you'll always remember this and take it with you. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. We love you. I'm good.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. A little monkey, you did it. It's a great accomplishment, and I'm really happy you're finally bar mitzvah. You have so many great qualities that make you an outstanding young woman, and will make you successful in the years to come. To name a few of those, you have determination, creativity, brilliance, you're adventurous, you're independent, you have so much wisdom, cleverness, thoughtfulness, and loving. She's a fantastic artist. She makes these amazing 3D Father's Day cards every year that just bewilders me. And if I had my way, we would decorate our entire house with all of her creative and beautiful artwork. She comes to my office quite often when she was younger, and she'd go in my junk drawer and just grab stuff and make like industrial art out of it. It's still in my office and it still looks great, and people still ask me, who did that? It's crazy. She is a super baker, and when she has her college roommates, they're gonna be the best fed roommates ever. Her writing and her penmanship is amazing. She has so many cool and wise thoughts, she makes me ponder sometimes. And her grades are super. The school grades are a testament of her determination. Some subjects don't come so easily, but she sticks with it until she masters them. And it's the same thing with sports. She's so determined to play well, be it soccer, volleyball, surfing, and it's really awesome to see her progress. Even when she goes fishing with me, she has to make the best cast and find the best place to catch the best fish. And she's adventurous and independent. Her love of hiking, climbing, exploring, and wanting to travel is everlasting. I have a feeling we're gonna have lots of adventures when she finally gets her car. And best of all, I love being Riley's dad. We're doers. We do projects, activities together. We build gardens and mini construction projects and school projects, and we plan road trips and we play sports. We ride bicycles, and not just ride bicycles, we race them. She's always competitive with me. And then one time we had a school project where she's doing a school project on Mono Lake. Instead of just reading the book and encyclopedia, we decided, let's go for it. We made a road trip out of it and we lived it. It was fantastic. And she is wonderful with children. She's extremely attentive and nurturing, and she's going to be another future great Akiba camp counselor. She's awesome, and I love her dearly. So Riley, I love you so much, and I love being your father. And I will be here for you through the thick and thin, good times and bad times. And as you remember, live life to the fullest with happiness and purpose, surrounded by family, friends, and community. I love you, Ani.
We have a spreadsheet on there? Spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful. I want to tell you all a little something about Riley. You know, when we meet with Bar and Bat Mitzvah students, or when I meet with them, I give them an assignment or two in the first couple of weeks. And one of my first assignments is to say, I want you to write 3 or 4 sentences about a specific topic that may be with regard to their Torah portion, or with regard to something of interest to them specifically. And maybe 50% of the time, the students come back the next week and they say, oh, Rabbi, I forgot to write it down, but I know it in my head. Or they say, oh, I'll send it to you via Google Docs, but then I don't get it because I don't really like Google Docs that much. Riley came back with about 5 pages on that first assignment. And it was not 5 pages of gibberish, it was 5 pages of depth, with the assignment to much of what you heard of what am I standing here for? And then she said, okay, what do I write next? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's nowhere to go, because she did it all. She did it all so fast and so well. And while we certainly honed her message, Riley, you did something that was so unique and beautiful. You went forward and you totally conquered and embraced your assignment. Now, here's the irony. Your Torah portion and your assignment is about why am I standing here? But you do so much more than stand. You run, you sprint, you bring us forward. And so today on your bat mitzvah, it's the combination of the two. What are you standing for? And I think you answered that question. But how, with your joyful enthusiasm, are you bringing us forward? It's kind of like your love of fossils. Fossils may be something that are stuck in one place, but they engrave themselves in our minds and enable us to think about not only the past, but how that can inform how we move forward, how we think, how we feel, how we can make a difference in the world, how our lives, just like a fossil's life when it was alive, how our life makes an impact by bringing the rest of the world forward. Along the way, you asked me what's the most important lesson in Jewish teaching. I think you answered it. By standing up for something that you believe in, by standing for your people, for your culture, for learning, for the food that we love, for camp. That's the most important thing, to stand up for who we are, but like you do in your life, to bring us forward and to reach for new horizons. That's the history and the future of our people. And on this day, Riley Taylor, as you join your sister and your cousins and so many others who have enjoyed life moments here at Akiba, we embrace you because you've shown us what light and goodness can mean. And we wish you Mazel Tov. We're so proud of you. Cantor has some words for you as well.
Hi, Riley.
Hi.
It has been such a pleasure going through this process with you and watching you grow and change throughout the last 1.5 years or so that we've been working together. I remember when you first came into my office, and we've known each other a long time, but you were very hesitant, you were very shy, you weren't sure about this whole thing. And to see you go from that girl when you first stepped in to where you are now, watching you blossom and shine and master each thing and feel that confidence grow and grow through each step of this process to the point where you are here standing in front of us doing such an incredible job. You truly embodied your Torah portion. Rabbi talked about how you moved us forward. I want to talk about how you grounded us today. You grounded us in your sense of depth, in your sense of spirituality, in your wisdom. And we are so grateful for that gift and so grateful to see you shine today and see the amazing Riley that you are. So thank you for that gift and thank you for everything that you have done today and all the gifts that you've shared with us. Mazel tov, we're so proud of you.
Mazel tov. We're going to invite your parents and your sister to come forward. So Eileen and Russell and Brooke, if you'll come forward. And you're going to take the talit and hold it over Riley's head as we offer her a blessing.
Okay. Like duck.
Great. And Riley, face out, face the congregation. There we go.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom. Shalom.
May God's light always shine through you, Riley, and grant you the most precious gift, the gift of shalom, of peace. Amen.
Amen.
Family group hug. But yeah, put the talit back on first. There we go, group hug.
Oh. Thank you.
Really good job.
Everyone but Riley gets to sit down. What an honor it is to now invite forward, representing our congregation, Verna Erez. Verna, there you are. Shabbat Shalom. Verna is representing our board. She is our director of, no, she's our recording secretary. Thank you. Why don't you come right over here? There's a microphone for you. Oh, you got this? One more. There you are. Come right to the podium, so there we go.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, I wish to welcome everyone to Temple Akiba Shabbat service and the Bat Mitzvah of Riley Taylor. Riley, Mazal Tov to you in becoming a Bat Mitzvah. You have reached this very important milestone in your young life. You led the service beautifully and with great confidence. I really enjoyed your speech and the way you spoke of understanding your Judaism and all the pieces of it, and the warmth and love for your family and for your friends. You are a blessing not only to your family, but to the whole Temple of Kiva community. And I'm honored to present you now with your certificate of Bat Mitzvah. Here you are, your certificate for becoming a Bat Mitzvah. And also, in honor of your becoming a Bat Mitzvah, Temple Akiva is planting a tree in your name in Israel. And I hope that when you reflect back on your Bat Mitzvah years from now, you'll think of your tree in Israel with deep roots growing strong, just like you are. Again, oh, also, this is the Kiddush cup from the sisterhood that you were told of, I believe, last night via Zoom. And here it is, and I hope you will use it throughout your life. And again, Mazal Tov to you and to your family.
Thank you so much, Verna. We've got one additional honor, and that is the signing of our Lador Vador scroll. everyone who's become a bar bat mitzvah at Temple Akiba has the opportunity to sign this. I'm going to lift it up for those who have not yet seen it so that you have an opportunity. It says, Oreinu meir tov yoter yachad. That means our light shines brighter together. It was designed by the renowned artist Mordechai Rosenstein, and it was commissioned by us a number of years ago to be signed by every single student. We know that Brooke didn't have a chance to sign it a couple of years ago. Is there anyone else who became bar mitzvah? Come on forward, Brandon. Anyone else who didn't sign it? Mitchell, did you sign it? Okay, come on forward, folks. Yeah, we'd like everyone who hasn't had a chance to sign it to sign.
No, you're the one who's signing it. I'm not.
Jessica, you didn't get to sign it yet either. Okay.
Oh, dear.
So what's the order here? You guys were together, right? All right. So who's older of the two of you? Him. All right.
Yeah, the sign
There
for
you go.
Madeline, too.
Do you remember your date?
October 13th.
Ten.
No. What year do we have our bar mitzvah? 12? 18.
All right. Mazel tov. Brandon. Also, Mazel tov. Jessica. March.
March 6th? What year?
March. Terrific. Mazel tov. All right, Brooke.
Oh, there's Oh, Madeline.
Oh, Madeline.
What do I put?
The date, which is the same as Jessica.
Okay, perfect.
Mazel tov. All right, Brooke.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, finally, Riley, right here.
It's 8, right?
Right. Mazel tov, everyone! All right, everyone except for Riley can have a seat. We love all of you very much. Okay. Friends, our concluding prayers begin with the Aleinu on page 282. About halfway down the page, we invite you all to rise once again.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kugei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu. Bayom havu V'yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo, U'shemo echad.
We're going to remain standing. And I offer a reading as we prepare for the Mourner's Kaddish on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We remember now very special people in the life of your family who have died, who continue to shine upon us from their eternal spaces, including Grandpa Harry Bubis, Grandma Esther Bubis, Grandma Rose Rubin, Grandpa Max Rubin, Uncle Morris Kaplansky, Uncle Timmy Rubin, Uncle Carl Rubin, Grandma Marie Trabes and Grandma Liz Berry, and Zach Viveras. May all of their memories guide us toward making the world better. On page 294, we say together, Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach orotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yomechon, v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, Bagalau v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitrobab v'yitaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shemei dekudasha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, b'chaim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. We're going to ask everyone to remain standing for a moment. And Riley, we're going to ask for your family to come gather over on this side over here. So yeah, family, come on forward.
Should I get my mask? Okay.
So as we are approaching Saturday evening, well, this is the technical way of getting juice into the cup.
Oh. I think you gotta like.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As we are approaching Havdalah, it is our opportunity to ritually say goodbye to Shabbat and to realize that our light has really increased. Last night we lit 2 candles, but at Havdalah, Kendra, are you able to come this way also? At Havdalah, we have a candle that has at least 3 wicks. This has got like 1 million on it. And it shows us that the light, especially that Riley has given us, has increased over the course of the day. So I'm going to light this.
Be careful, Bobby.
Hold on. Let me move this out of the way. It's not the wind in this case. This is an old wick. So let's do this again. Oh, what a... You've been around the... Right. You've been around the block. The double match. All right. So let's see. Riley, if you can hold on to this.
Oh. They are.
Just right there, over here. Brooke, if you can hold. All right, Eileen, great. And there's the spice box. Terrific. So we've got a number of blessings that we're going to be offering. And these are blessings, while it's saying that we're separating between Shabbat and the rest of the week, the blessings are really at their heart about how all of us are spiritually coming together. Kiddush Kappa, Borei Devi Hagafen, Borei Devi Hagafen, Yai Lai La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei besamim borei minei besamim borei minei besamim Yai lai la 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 Ya la 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 Baruch hold it up atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei me'orei ha'esh borei me'orei Yes, hold it up, but not so high that it hits that. So hold it down a little lower now. Yeah, la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Let's put the candle over to the wine and we'll extinguish it.
Dip it in
Right.
very carefully. Good job.
Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. gladness reign, and joy increase. Shavua Tov, everyone, a sweet week, and Mazel Tov to Riley!
Okay. Are you sure?
And one last blessing. Thank you, Verna. We're going to have you and your family all hold on to this. You can hold it from that part. There we go.
Okay.
And we're going to join in a motzi together, everyone. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices joining happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Motzi lechem min haaretz v'te'ama. Shavua Tov, everyone, and Mazel Tov once again.
You take the challah. Yeah, you take the challah. The challah.
Enjoy every minute.
Oh, we need more kids here.
I know.
Candy.
Come by after you leave.
No, we need more.
How do you feel? Yeah, you feel.